Hail and well met, 'tis I, Bard. They, them, and she, her, welcoming you once again to the mad realm, dear adventurer. And in today's tale of mortality, I shall tell you about the wilds and beasts of Asenscia, of those creatures that linger on the edge of settlement and civilization, and the lands they dwell within, that linger in the minds of mortals as night terrors, the most common threat to face an Ascension. Thus, without further ado, let me tell you, for whence and after the aeon began. Beyond the walls of human settlements and the cultivated fields of farmers are the wilds of the world. These untended, conquered lands are the bountiful forests, deserts, seas, and plains of nigh endless terrain stretching as far as the horizons. These are places of unchecked majesty left to their own growth and death. To gaze upon the untouched nature is to behold the very face of the gods, some say. In the world of Asenscia, the wilds are places of great danger and violence, more so. The unchecked anger of nature festers at the edges of human control. Arcanomancers and occultists say in the days before humanity, the nascent immortals took the raw energy of the universe, quintessence, and created mock forms of arcana, fire, earth, water, air, and all other elements. They placed their grotesque mockery of the mad realm in the peripheries of the infinite aeon, where they would populate it with debased, half-aborted abominations and mimics of ancient elder forms. During those times, there was no order which the wilds would tear at. It was nature, red in tooth and claw. Then was the anger of the ancient elders brought upon the immortal realms. The immortals took the land and gave it reckless anger to war. Only when humanity was created did the Mad One halt the slaughter of gods and natures, for mortals, chaotic beings in their own right, relied upon the immortals and the mortal realms. The rifting came after so that the Mad One could let madness reign. The rage of nature remained. Sensing humanity's weaknesses, the wilds broke every abandoned monument to the former glory of those first peoples. It overtook every house and grave with glee. Plants grew to terrible size and mutated into perturbing forms, while the earth warped in ways only the influx of magic could explain. How many died in those days is uncountable, for the corpses fed the slavering jaws of the world. Sands scoured paradises, and mountains grew to plunge lands into darkness where horrors could dwell. The seas rose and battered the coasts, and rivers swelled to flood valleys. Summers scolded the flesh off of any person who could not find shelter, and winter so froze people their remains are perfectly preserved thousands of years later. To this day, wilds extend their reach into the domains of humanity to cause ruin no mortal warlord could match. There is no peace when stepping into the wilds not held by a kind immortal. Unnatural forms twist in the deepest parts of the uncharted hinterlands. Venturers speak of how rifts mingle with the immortal realm of life, which is also known as the realm of nature and the realm of flesh. Sand dunes shift like a lidded eye, lakes bubble and fester like boils on an unwashed face, and trees pulsate. Worse still are wilds where an immortal twists the land to be their domain. The wild realm hungers for the death of humanity, which so bleeds and corrupts it. Humanity knows the wilds as places where gods dwell, and a mortal who steps off the road feels starvation, thirst, and the perils of terrain and weather, and as the womb of beasts. The rifting brought beasts from across the universe together into one area. Creatures who were not made to dwell with one another had to evolve or die. No animal was left unchanged or extinct, with exceptions to beasts humanity had subjugated. The influence of the realm of life furthered mutation faster than it had ever done before. Hybrids of various species spawned in the darkness. Monsters of yore became the common beasts of the present. For the first time since it stood on two legs, mortality cowered in fear of animals. Entire cities that had been reduced to townships from the rifting were picked off person by person, day and night. And then came the most feared mutations, beasts like us. Animals considered peaceful turned violent. Dark copulations with beasts and immortals resulted in stillbirds that were neither human nor animal. Every year, the beasts like us would be born and flee into the wilds where they would grow and mate. Year after year, more horrific forms would emerge from the forest to slaughter and feast on humanity while taking livestock to make into more of their kind. Around the world, hybrids of all manner brutalized humanity like common prey. Throughout the ages, monsters, beasts so tainted by magic, the gods herald their arrival, stalked the dreams of mortals. Primogenitus humans and their ilk were new mortals for a new ravenous world. Their ancestors were preyed upon to almost total annihilation. But the spirit indomitable that burned in the hearts of those early people burned brighter in Ascensians. With axe and plow, the wilds were hewn farther and farther every year, its corpse used to build the throne of human dominance once again. Hunters turned to venturers who had faced the myriad dangers of magic paraded the trophies of the beasts they had slain. Armies accompanied by the architects of settlement overwhelmed the wilds like a throng of devastation. Over thousands of years, humanity has fought hard for space in the wild world and continued to fight every day until its bones are ground into dust and its blood feeds the earth bitterly. Tiring is this work, however, and at the slightest moment humanity closes its eyes for rest, fangs shall rip out its throat, and the earth will destroy the body, so no god may find it. And where nature pleads for aid, even worse atrocities lie than hunts. Hearken now these words of adventurer, one whom has come and gone, one who has loved and been loved, lost and been lost. Choke upon my bones, beast, and feast on my burning heart, well, for my boiling blood is but a drop in the ocean that shall drown you in iron and will, and which shall hang your ragged corpse upon our gates, so all your kind may look and remember why it fears the cry of a newborn more than it does the strongest of your kind. May your young starve to death, so my people may spare them the indignity of being skinned and burned, so that no carrion feeder may indulge itself and use to warm our beds by the fire. Tales of Mortality is a world-building podcast set in the world of Asenscia, created and owned by Bard, me, over 18 years and counting. It is a fantasy world of horror and madness, a planet racked by mutation and magic, where humanity survives only through itself and the spirit indomitable against horrors, natural and unnatural. This podcast is written and produced by Bard, who is also its world builder and the artist of the current image you see before you. Thank you all for listening. I greatly appreciate it, and if you'd like to share it, please do. And as always, may chaos reign. Bye-bye!